R1150RT with a bad starter. So, we have a replacement, which Mr. Eric is going to open up right now. Go.
Hi.
Very good. Here we have...
Do you want me to cut that box open?
No, it's good. Sure. Right here. Excellent. So, we have here one nice new starter. Ready to be installed. Pull that. Pull it. Pull it. There. So we're going to change that out right now, and hopefully this engine sounds a whole lot better when it's cranked over. Remove your negative cable from the battery so that if you do bump your positive terminal on the starter against something during removal, which is highly unlikely but possible, I guess, keep you from doing any unwanted welding. Good. Get the rest off of your fingers. You got the nut. Don't lose the nut. It's in the socket. Nut is in the socket. With your 3/8 drive ratchet and several lengthy wobbly extensions and a long ball Allen, 6mm ball Allen driver socket, you can get to the lower starter bolt without removing the foot peg plate. First bolt removed. Now for the second. Before you completely remove the starter, grab a 13mm wrench and take the nut off the solenoid. Awkward with one freaking hand, but you get the idea. Get the nut off, take the cable off, take this connector off, and you should have room to get the starter out of here. We'll see in a moment. Don't lose your hardware, even if your replacement starter has it. It's good to have backup hardware. Alright, so we got that. Socket here, take this out the rest of the way. Back one second. Yeah, it's out. Okay. Should have enough room to move this back. Slightly. You want to get the tail out first. How I got to do this with two hands. And out. Forgetting, of course, to cut the damn zip tie that holds the wiring together, dumbass. if your starter is missing the alignment pin, which would normally live right here, which was the case with this one and the R1150RT behind me, don't worry. Grab your Allen key set, find yourself the 5mm. I'm sorry, 4mm. I don't know that 5 will fit through that hole, but let's find out right now. I'm sure it won't. No way in hell. So 4mm Allen key. Get your starter installed, but our bolts are still loose, so the starter moves around. Take your Allen key, go in behind the foot peg plate, into the hole, and move that forward all the way. If you got to mark the Allen key, mark it. You want to make sure that the Allen key is protruding into the engine case. That right there will align your starter. So now we're going to continue and tighten our bottom bolts. You don't have to go nutty. These you'll have to look it up, but I recall these torquing to like 18 Newton meters or so, which is not super tight, but you don't want it loose either. Now, don't forget your Allen key. Don't forget to tighten up the nut. Don't forget to put your connector on, which I've already done. Unless our battery is still not connected yet. Negative terminal. Good and snug. Don't snap the frickin' solenoid, but you want it tight. You want to check, make sure there's nothing left around, make sure there's no tools left. I still have my socket down here and the lower starter bolt. Okay, so we're tight. Push on them with your thumb, make sure you can't move that wire over. We've torqued the upper bolt. Bottom bolt is similarly torqued, though not with a torque wrench. If you're not used to spinning, if you don't spin wrenches every day for a living on these things, I'd suggest getting out a torque wrench if you're not quite sure how strong you are. So that's it. We are going to reconnect our battery next. And now we'll see what it sounds like. It's got to be better than before. And start. Good. That's much better. It still has, there's a nick in that flywheel, which is making that extra noise on each revolution. That's not a big issue. Starter sounds better. It's not grating like it was before. It's not spinning teeth. So we should be good. So this is moving right along towards completion. And that's how you take care of a starter. The starter that I used is from Beamer Boneyard. It is less money, it is less weight, it is new, it is not a rebuild. Best of my knowledge anyway. So look into that. Beamer Boneyard in New Jersey. Your best source for used parts and many new parts for your BMW. And that's it. Hope this was of some use to you. Had a lot of starters go bad this year. I think this is the 7th. So quite a few. Abnormal, but these bikes are getting up there in age too, so you can't really complain about a starter going bad after 10 years and 34,000 miles. Good luck with yours. This is the starter that was removed from this R1150RT from New York. As you can see here, measuring here to here, there's a lot of play. In that bushing on the end. So that's causing this, when it's torqued, it's causing that shaft to turn, which of course beats the shit out of the teeth on the flywheel. And eventually it just skips. It doesn't crank. You see we even have some teeth chewed into here. Pictures of this. So this is something that you might want to consider. I'm not turning anybody away from buying an R1150RT at all. They're a great bike. But something to consider is this bike only has 34,000 miles on it, and it's already eaten a starter. Now, we don't know if that's the original starter to this bike, or maybe it came off of another RTP that has even more miles on it. You know, you have to remember that most of the BMW dealers that service these police bikes usually, usually have departments around them that own them or lease them in large quantities. So it's not uncommon to find a dozen of these sitting in a shop somewhere, well, back when they were in use. So it's possible that parts got mixed up from one to another. Because you imagine a shop full of 12 of these RTPs and 6 of them are on the lift getting clutches or input shafts or something major, something that would involve lots of parts off and the starter off the bike. It's easy to mix this stuff up with other bikes. We've seen panels mixed up and mirrors and all kinds of stuff. So fortunately, the starter from Beamer Boneyard was like $150 or something, and the BMW one's for over $450. So the aftermarket ones are better. These Enduralasts are a little bit smaller and much less money. Should provide as much life as the original, if not more. I suspect more. Another issue we found, as I said, was that alignment pin was not there. So you have to make sure you put something in that hole that fits properly and will line that starter up before you torque your 2 bolts down.